Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Gebo the Shaman, and today we are talking about, we are reading from the book Science of Light, an Introduction to Vedic Astrology. Now I am a Vedic astrologer and I do Vedic astrology readings. So if you know your accurate time of birth, then you can get a Vedic astrology reading from me. However, if you don't know your birth time to the exact minute, then you can get what's called a birth time rectification, which I do. You can go to this link, linktree/Gebo the Shaman, and you can purchase a birth time rectification. That will give you your exact birth time down to the minute. So it's very, I am a very experienced Vedic astrologer who has the tools and knowledge and stuff like that to actually, find out your birth time. Now it does take me a while, and I do double and triple check my work. So I want to guarantee that you have the best birth time that I can give you. So in a completely accurate birth time. So anyway, that's my Vedic astrology readings and birth time rectification services. So if you want those, you can go to linktree/Gebo the Shaman. However, today we will be talking about reading from the Science of Light, an introduction to Vedic astrology, and we're talking about Rahu and Ketu, the north node and the south node of the moon. So we are on page, if you're following along, we're on page 63 of the ebook version. So let's talk about Rahu and Ketu. So let's see. The story of Rahu and Ketu comes from the famous story of churning the ocean of milk, the Milky Way. And the arising of the nectar of immortality, which is Amrita, or something like that. I can't pronounce Vedic words, but and the arising of the nectar of immortality. The Devas learned that by churning the milky ocean, they could obtain Amrita, which is the nectar of immortality, just like butter emerges from churning milk. But they could not do it alone, and they had to employ the demons, or the asuras, to help. They used a great mountain. And so they used a great mountain and a huge snake as a churning rod. The Devas and the Asuras, the Devas and Asuras worked together to churn the ocean. When the Amrita, the nectar of immortality, arose, the Asuras stole it for themselves. With the help of Vishnu, the Devas were able to regain the nectar, and Vishnu gave each of the Devas a drop. He was avoiding giving any to the Asuras, but one Asura named Svarbanu was smarter. He disguised himself. He disguised himself as the Deva and got in line for the nectar. He hid between the sun and the moon. Vishnu poured a drop of nectar, and as it fell, the sun and the moon exclaimed that it was an Asura. Vishnu took his chakra and severed Svarbanu's head from his body. At the same moment, the nectar landed in his mouth, and thereby became immortal with his head separate from his body. He was put in the sky with the other immortals, but is continually chasing after the sun and moon for having caused his fate. The head is called Rahu, and the body is called Ketu. It is said that Rahu tries to swallow the moon, but as he has no body, it comes right out after he swallows it. Out his neck. This is the lunar eclipse. So this is the lunar eclipse, while Ketu is related to the solar eclipse. Rahu and Ketu are bodiless entities, only having etheric form. They are called shadow planets, which are Chaya Grahas. They represent the forces that cannot be seen. As Rahu is the head, he shows the delusion of the mind for the material world. As Ketu is the body with no head, he can either show the madness of having no mind, which is schizophrenia, or the spirituality of having the state of no mind, which is basically Zen. Zen. So let's see here. Astronomically, Rahu and Ketu are created by the sun and the moon. Created by the sun, moon, and Earth's alignment. There is a space of 5 degrees angular separation between the Earth's ecliptic plane around the sun and the moon's ecliptic plane around the Earth. The points where these two planes intersect are called the nodes of the moon, which is where eclipses can occur. These nodal points regress through the zodiac based on the wobble of the moon. True nodes have a retrograde and direct motion because of a slight wobble by Jyotisha primarily uses so he says that true nodes have a retrograde and direct motion because of a slight wobble, but Jyotish primarily uses the mean nodes, which are always retrograde. The mean nodes are calculated at an average motion without factoring in the wobble. In this way, the sun and moon are always direct, and Rahu and Ketu are always retrograde. It is the 5 planets related to the 5 elements that can go between retrograde and direct. Rahu, so we'll take a break there, guys, and I'll come back to you in a second. Alrighty, guys, I'm back. So now we'll talk about Rahu individually and Ketu individually. So, it says Rahu. So we're on Rahu. Parashara describes Rahu as blue or dark bodied, making smoke or obscuration, living in the forests, invoking fear, intelligent, and having a Vata constitution. Rahu is similar to Saturn in its airy nature and of drawing things. Saturn represents sorrow, while Rahu represents shock or trauma. So Saturn represents sorrow, while Rahu represents shock or trauma. Saturn is the natural dark side of life, while Rahu is the demented dark side. Rahu is the demented dark side. He does not think clearly. The proper mind is obscured and diluted. Rahu relates to addiction and foreign substances, and rules all types of mind-altering drugs. Rahu is impure and dirty, and poisons whatever he associates with. Rahu and Venus will create a dirty sense of sexuality. Rahu and Mercury will make one use the mind in a deceitful way. Rahu with Jupiter gives a disrespect to life. Rahu is a disturbance and causes overwhelming experiences and cannot be disguised. Rahu is a disturbance and causes overwhelming experiences that cannot be digested. On the beneficial side, Rahu gives the ability to work with chemicals, metals, heavy machinery. It will also give an attraction to things that are foreign, and may even give foreign travel. He is beneficial for business and politics, where lying, cheating, and stealing in the most deceptive way are things that get people ahead and make lots of money. Now we'll talk about the medical significations and the diseases. So Rahu deals with hands, mouth, lips, ears, sense of location, sensory overstimulation, negative experiences with extrasensory functions. The diseases are Vata disorders, chronic illness, disorganized nervous system, traumatic experiences, and dissociation, lack of body awareness, mental illness, post-traumatic stress disorder, phobias, hysteria, insanity, possession, impulse control issues, addiction, obsession, obsessive compulsive disorder, and bipolar disorders. Dissociative identity disorder, so DID, poisoning, toxemia, parasites, cancer, psychic disturbances, leprosy, bad dreams, insomnia. Okay, so let's see here. So now we'll talk about Ketu. So we'll get into Ketu. Parashara says that the serpents created from Svarbhanu are similar in appearance. Ketu is more like a Naga, and that's Naga. Higher vibration snake being, while Rahu is Sarpa, lower snake character. Ketu is like Mars in many ways, with heat and energy. Mars is the Earth, and it was from the mud of the Earth. that the goddess Parvati created Ganesha, the elephant-headed deity related to Ketu. The Earth of Mars was manipulated into form and became Ketu. In the same way, land and property is Mars, but houses are ruled by Ketu. As a baked brick is the same as the earth, but alive in form. So, let's see. Ganesha is the guardian of the door at the doorway of the mother. He resides in the root chakra and controls who has access to the Kundalini energy. Ketu rules doors and locks, and the locks on the doors. So he rules doors and the locks on the doors. He gives the key or denies the key. He keeps obstacles in your way or removes them. Ketu is beneficial. Ketu is beneficial for spiritual endeavors, but not for material endeavors. Rahu shows the path of Bhagya. Rahu shows the path of, Bhoga, material enjoyment, while Ketu shows the path of spirituality and yoga, which is moksha. Ketu and Rahu both relate to disembodied entities and will show spirits and ghosts. Particularly Ketu, when he's with Saturn, will show issues with ghosts, as they are disembodied ethereal entities. There are ethereal remedies for these problems in Vedic astrology. Rahu destroys the sun and the moon. Rahu destroys the sun, the moon, and the sign it is placed in. Ketu destroys the planets, 5 elements, and the nakshatra that it's placed in. So if you have if Rahu, wherever Rahu is placed, if he's like conjunct the sun or the moon, then or opposing, like if he has aspect to them, he will destroy them. He will wreak havoc on them. But if you have, and as well as the sign that he's placed in. So, but then Ketu destroys any planets, like any and all planets that he's placed with or has conjunction to or aspect to, and he will and he like destroys basically the nakshatra that he's placed in. So that's like some more like advanced information for you guys, but yeah. So then let's talk about the medical significations of Rahu. It says, and the diseases, medical significations and diseases of Ketu. So Ketu is the legs, the hair, the extrasensory functions, mystical experience. Diseases are pitta disorders, so mental confusion, feelings of isolation, schizophrenia, accidents, epidemics, eruptive fevers, viral and infectious diseases, catastrophes, parasites, viruses, tuberculosis, diagnostic confusion. So if a doctor's trying to just diagnose you, there could be some diagnostic confusion there. Let's see here. Wrong surgery, so, you know, some doctor working on your right knee when they need to be working on your left knee, things like that. Wrong surgery, stuttering speech, psychic disturbance, possession by spirits. Very fun. Yeah, that's a lot. So then, let's see here. So yeah, guys, that does it for Rahu and Ketu for today. So thank you for watching, and if you'd like a Vedic Astrology reading from me, then you can go to vincent.thunderwizard.com. If you want a birth time rectification from me, then you can go to linktree/Gebo the Shaman right here. Linktree/Gebo the Shaman. Vedic Astrology readings are meant for people with their exact birth times. So, the astrology readings I give are all focused on remedies and things that you can do to work with the planets that want to work with you. So I give you a mantra, I give you a ritual that you can do, things like that. There's some very specific and detailed information that not a lot of astrologers know that is very practical and very helpful for you. So if you want a Vedic astrology reading from me, then you can go to vincent.thunderwizard.com, links down below in the description, or you can go here to check out all my links to all my products, services, courses, everything that I have to offer. It's right here, linktree/Gebo the Shaman. And yeah, I do birth time rectification as well, so if you're not sure about your exact birth time down to the minute, then the birth time rectification will help you to determine what your birth time is. So yeah, and that's like a big process. I go into it with in detail, looking at every single chart that you have and determining, the best, basically determining the best birth time for you based on the data that you give me. So anyway, guys, I also do distance energy healing, so that helps not only your physical body but also your mind, your mental function, your emotions, your feelings, things like that, your psychological stuff, patterns, things like that. So your psychology, things like that. And so I do distance energy healing. I also do career coaching and life coaching. So basically the career coaching is designed to help you understand what you want to do in life. So everybody's just kind of, most people in the world are just kind of floating on by. They don't really care. They are just kind of living for the day, living in the moment kind of thing. They don't really have a definite purpose or aim in life. They have no goals. They're just kind of floating around. So if you want to know your path and purpose, if you want to know your soul desire, and everybody has one, then you can go book a career consultation with me at linktree/Gebo the Shaman. Alright, and so I also offer life coaching too. Ongoing life coaching. This is about, life is about action, taking action, doing things physically that will improve your life, taking action. So with the life coaching, I help you take action. I help you discover what you need to be taking action on and help you, set goals and achieve those goals. So anyway, guys, yeah. So I also do have shamanic ritual magic courses. So right now I have the Fehu wealth ritual, course that uses runes. It uses shamanic magic, basically. And yeah, it goes into the 9 levels of your psyche, into your unconscious mind, and destroys all of your blocks around wealth and getting money and getting, getting everything that you want in life. So anyway, guys, the emotional awareness course is also something that I have. Helps you, as the title suggests, become aware of emotions, but also helps you cope with them. Gives you coping mechanisms to help things feel safe and feel good. So yeah. Alright, guys, so that's it for today, and we will talk to you next time. If you want to see any of my links to any and all of my products, services, courses, everything that I have to offer, go to linktree/Gebo the Shaman. Alright, and we will talk to you next time. Peace.